The story opens with a girl showering while her husband is busy scrubbing the toilet. Outside, a helicopter approaches. A man rappels down and asks, "What's the boss up to?" This startles him. He shoots back a death glare. "Can't you see I'm scrubbing the toilet? Spit it out or get lost, and if you ever make that much noise again, I won't be so forgiving." The guy gets scared. "I know I shouldn't bother you, boss, but third sister is looking for you like crazy. Leguo's forces took out some rivals heading to Huaxia to find you." Just then, his wife finishes her shower and calls out, "Shen Ran, get me a towel." Ignoring his subordinate, Shen Ran tells him to scram so he can bring his wife a towel. He even threatens him with the toilet brush. "If my wife sees you, you're dead meat." Terrified, the young man scrambles back up the rope ladder and flies off. He thinks to himself, what on earth is the boss thinking? What happened to Hades, the king of the underworld? Just then, Shenran meekly brings the towel to his wife like a little puppy. As his wife comes out for the towel, she suddenly collapses into his arms, saying she doesn't feel well. Shenran holds his wife, noticing how amazing her figure is. But a second later he thinks Li Shui is unconscious. What the heck am I thinking? I need to get her to bed first. A moment later, Li Shui is resting in bed. Wearing a seductive purple dress, Shenran shyly watches her, noticing she has a fever. She's usually so healthy. Why did this happen so suddenly? Could work stress be affecting her health? Shenran steps out and calls a guy named Lin Feng. "Investigate your sister-in-law's company. Find out what's been happening lately." He orders him to get on it immediately. Shenran sighs, thinking it wasn't easy to get Li Shui back by his side. He absolutely won't let anyone harm her. He remembers when they were kids the last time Li Shui visited his home with her parents. She had jumped into his arms saying, "When I grow up, I'm going to be Shenran's bride." Sadly, by the time he finally found her again, a car accident had caused her to lose all her memories of him. His thoughts are interrupted by his phone ringing. It's Lin Feng reporting back. "I've got something. Your sister-in-law's company just launched a new product line. The first batch just produced last night was stolen. And that shipment of cosmetics is due to a partner tomorrow afternoon. Even if they start producing more right now, they won't make the deadline." Shenran snaps, "Stop rambling. Get to the point. Who did this?" The voice on the other end says it was the CEO of a rival company. His name is Chen Guang. The stolen cosmetics have been moved to an abandoned construction site on the northern outskirts of the city. At the site, a bald guy is telling his crew they have to move the goods to Viet City by tonight. "We'll repackage it and sell it overseas. You guys can keep all the money." He even throws in an extra 500,000 for them. His goal is to make her company default and pay a penalty. Too bad for them, a cold voice suddenly rings out. "A fine plan. Too bad, you won't get the chance to carry it out." The newcomer is Shen Ran. He calmly walks in hands in his pockets. The bald guy with sunglasses asks, "Who the hell are you, kid? What are you doing here? Get the hell out of here." Shen Ran grabs his hand and asks, "You got a death wish?" His buddies yell, "Get him, boys, beat him to a pulp." The guy in sunglasses and another with long hair charge forward. But Shenran is like a whirlwind, moving with lightning speed and sending them flying. He towers over the boss, who asks fearfully, Who are you? I don't remember having any beef with you." Shenran replies coldly, "You don't need to know who I am, but messing with Zhao Li Shui is the same as messing with me." The boss's attitude changes. "Oh, so you're one of Zhao Li Shui's people. I was wondering who you were. Even if you help her get these goods back this time, she won't be so lucky next time." Shenran grabs him by the collar and lifts him up. "You think you'll have a next time?" The guy starts to choke, but still acts tough. "Killing someone is against the law. If you kill me, you'll be a wanted man for the rest of your life." Shenran is unfazed. "Of course I won't do anything illegal, but I have ways to make you wish you were dead. Now, I'm giving you one last chance. Tomorrow morning, you will return these goods to Zhao Li Shui's company. You'll also apologize in person and compensate her for her losses. You will pay her 10 times the value of this shipment. Do that, and we'll call it even." But the guy is still defiant. "Apologize and pay 10 times the amount. You think that's gonna happen? You can take the goods, but I'm absolutely not apologizing or paying a dime. I'm not afraid even if you call the cops." Shenran hears this and says, "Fine by me. Your company is called Zhao Cosmetics, right? So it was you. And what if it was?" The man shot back. Inside, he was thinking, what can this punk kid even do to me? All he can do is throw a few punches. "Next time, I'll show you what real pain feels like." Shenran spoke up again. "Not a bad name for a company. Too bad it's closing down today." The man just threw his head back and laughed. He figured Shenran was just some punk, just Zhao Latuya's little pet talking big. He was dying to see what tricks this guy had up his sleeve that could actually shut down his company. Shenran didn't say a word, just pulled out his phone and made a call. "Listen up. Before the stock market closes today, I want Xiaomei Cosmetics completely wiped off the map in Donghai City. The guy still couldn't believe it. Kid, who do you think you are? One phone call is gonna bankrupt my cosmetics company, please. Our Xiaomei Cosmetics might not be the biggest company in Shanghai City, but we're easily in the top 50. At that moment, Shen Ran plucked a pack of cigarettes from the unconscious goon's pocket and said, "Let's see if you're still talking so big after I finish these 2 cigarettes." He lit up and took a drag. Suddenly the man's phone started ringing off the hook. Shenron flicked his cigarette away with a little smirk. On the other end, an employee was frantically telling Mr. Tran something terrible had happened. "Our company's under attack. The stock price has already crashed by 30%. He froze, completely terrified, with no idea what was happening. They'd just signed a huge deal with Shui Mei Company last night. How could the stock be plummeting? The employee explained it was because Shui Mei Company had suddenly pulled out of the deal and gone public with it. That's why the stock was tanking so hard. Hearing this, he ordered his men to call the major shareholders immediately, tell them to buy up company stock. The subordinate reported back, "The chairman already tried, sir, but a lot of the big shareholders said they've already sold off their stock. That's why the price crashed so fast." The man collapsed to the floor in absolute shock. He looked at Shen Ran and whispered, "Just who are you?" But Shen Ran gave him a lifeline. "Before the market closes today, if you agree to my terms, I can tell my people to stand down. Your company might just survive." Terrified, the man agreed to everything. "Please, just make it stop." As he turned to leave, Shenron added a warning. "If you go back on your word, then when the market opens tomorrow, Xiaomei Cosmetics will cease to exist." The man immediately dropped to his knees. "I'll do whatever you say, sir," Shenron told him. "This is the only chance you'll get." He still had no clue what kind of monster he had just provoked. Meanwhile, back at the office, an employee ran to tell Letuyet the news. The shipment that was stolen yesterday had been mysteriously returned to their front door. Not a single bottle was missing. Letuyet was ecstatic. She told her staff to quickly inspect the shipment to make sure nothing had been tampered with. "If everything checks out, we need to tighten security immediately. We can't let another incident like this happen." She was so happy her cheeks were glowing. She wasn't sure if the thieves had a change of heart or if some kind soul had secretly helped her out. But either way, a huge weight was finally off her shoulders. She went out onto the balcony and saw her husband sweeping the floor. She ordered Shen Ran get some warm water ready for my foot soak. He immediately nodded. "Yes, dear." She smiled sweetly and told him to hurry. Shen Ran brought over the foot basin and asked her where to put it. Her eyes were fixed on him. Then she held out her foot. "You can do it for me." Shen Ran's face instantly turned bright red. "Oh, okay, here I go," he stammered, thinking. Letuyet has been so stressed lately. A good foot massage should help her relax. Suddenly, Letuyet let out a little yelp. "Whoa," he asked nervously. "What's wrong?" She hid her blushing face behind a book. "Where on earth did you learn to massage like this? It feels amazing." Shen Ran blushed, smiling happily. He just thought to himself that it was only a few little tricks he'd picked up. She, however, was thinking, if only he could be a bit more assertive like this. Shen Ran seemed to read her mind. "You're probably wondering why I put up with all this humiliation. But as long as I can be with you, you can think whatever you want of me. One day I will help you get your memories back." Later, Letuyet arrived at her company. Her secretary ran up to her worried. "Tran Quang is here. He's been waiting for a long time." She told her secretary to get rid of him. "Tell him I have a meeting," the secretary said. "But he's different this time. He was incredibly polite to me. I really don't think he's here to cause trouble." In the reception room, Letuyet walked in. "Mr. Tran, what brings you here?" He bowed low, begging for forgiveness. "Your friend already taught me a lesson. I truly know that I was wrong. I never should have stolen your company's cosmetics. Please take this check and give me one more chance." Letuyet was absolutely floored. Who on earth was this powerful friend of hers? The thought made her husband suddenly sneeze. Could it be? Is the wifey thinking about me? Just then, a call came in from Lin Feng with a report, with Thumb Nien, that while investigating Xiaomei Cosmetics, he also did a little digging on his wife. Someone was planning to make a move against her. Thumb Nien asked who was behind it and when they would strike. The intel suggested it would be tomorrow. Through the underground network, they learned an assassin group called Cavus took the job. But surprisingly, they couldn't find out who hired them. Fifth Brother had just infiltrated the network to dig up info for the boss when their spies spotted him. Just then, he heard his wife calling from a distance. "Tum Nian, you're coming with me to a party tomorrow. Make sure to dress nicely." He scratched his head, wondering where she was taking him. She pointed right at him and said, "You're just the live-in husband. Why ask so many questions?" Then she turned on her heel with a snooty attitude, leaving him completely stunned. But Thumb Nian didn't mind one bit. As long as he could be by her side and protect her, nothing else mattered. He would secretly support her from the background, hoping that one day she would remember him. The next day at the restaurant, she told him to pull himself together before they went in, so he wouldn't embarrass her. Thum Nien respectfully obeyed. As they reached the door, she seemed nervous and grabbed his arm tightly. He told her not to be so tense and to just relax. This was the first time she had ever taken his arm. Inside, a well-dressed man with glasses was waiting. "Hello, Lei Tweet," he said politely. "To get someone as busy as you to spare time for a meal with me, it's truly an honor." He then walked over and asked who was with her. She answered bluntly, "This is Thum Nien, my husband. I brought him along. I hope you don't mind." The guy with the glasses kept up his gentlemanly act. "Of course I don't mind. Hello, Mr. Thum. It's a pleasure to meet you. I wonder what business Mr. Thum is in to be able to marry such an outstanding woman like Lei Twit. You're a very lucky man." Thum Nien extended his hand. In his mind, the guy was thinking, I invited Lei Twit, not this damn tag-along. I'm going to humiliate you. Thum Nien politely greeted him back, asking where Mr. Liu worked. On the surface, they were all smiles, but underneath, a silent battle was brewing. Their hands locked in a crushing grip. The guy confidently announced, "Oh, it's nothing prestigious. I'm just the CEO of the Tianhua Group. I don't make much in a month, only about 200,000 or 300,000. He thought to himself, I used to be on the basketball team. A normal person could never handle my grip strength. Thum Nien smiled and said, "Yeah, that's really not much." The guy shot back, "I'm sure it can't compare to Mr. Thumb here. You must make at least a few million a month, right? Otherwise, how could you make Lei Tuet happy?" He was still confident that Thum Nien was just barely holding on. With a little more pressure, he could make him lose face in front of Lei Tuet. At this, Thum Nien put on a super cool expression and declared, "Happiness isn't something you can buy with money." Then he started to squeeze Mr. Liu's hand with real force. The man suddenly yelped in pain. Lei Tuet waved her hand. "Why don't we all just sit down and eat first?" Like a drowning man grabbing a lifeline, Mr. Liu yanked his hand back and said, "Right, we should order." He thought, "Damn it, how is this kid so strong?" A Russian waiter came over and asked what they would like to order. The guy told Thum Nien to order, knowing the menu was entirely in Russian. He planned to make the country bumpkin embarrass himself. Meanwhile, Lei Tuet was now in an assassin's crosshairs. He was on an opposite roof, locking onto his target with a sniper rifle. Thum Nien glanced at the menu and calmly ordered a series of high-end dishes in perfect native-sounding Russian. He turned to Mr. Liu and asked, "Need me to order for you?" Suddenly, his expression shifted. He sensed danger. He kicked Lei Tuet's leg hard, startling her and making her dodge the assassin's bullet. The bullet flew past her and went straight through the waiter's head. Everyone panicked and started running for their lives. Only Thum Nien remained completely calm. But a second later, he screamed, "Help, murder," and then he ran off. Just then, a police officer arrived and yelled for everyone to get down. She approached Lei Tuet and told her to follow her lead. With that, the officer started pulling Lei Tuet to safety. Lei Tuet waved for Thum Nien to follow, but he had already vanished. The assassin once again aimed his scope at Lei Tuet. A glint of light shone through the window, and the officer realized where the shot was coming from. She threw herself forward, pushing Lei Tuet out of the way of a second bullet. The sniper was furious that she had escaped again. Suddenly, a cold voice echoed from behind him. "Your shooting technique is pretty decent." It was Thum Nien. He said, "For a small fry organization like Kavas to have such a good sniper, I'm actually a little surprised." But suddenly, the guy pointed a sniper rifle at him. In a flash, Shen Ran was already behind him. The man was terrified, wondering how he could be so fast. Shen Ran snatched the gun and asked, "Who hired you to assassinate Zhao Li Shui?" But true to his profession, the assassin fearlessly replied that he'd never tell Shen Ran. Before he could finish his sentence, a bullet went straight through his forehead. Shen Ran took him out, turned and said, "A waste of my time." Just then, a few men ran up saying the police were swarming the area. Seeing this, Shen Ran quietly slipped away. When two officers arrived, they found the assassin dead on the ground. They were stunned with no idea who did it. Shen Ran went over to Li Shui and asked, "I'm just glad you're okay. That was way too dangerous just now." Before he could finish, she pinched his cheek hard. She cried, "You rotten jerk, how could you just leave me all alone and run off? Do you have any idea how worried I was?" Just then, a police officer behind them called out, "Mr. Shen Ran, I'm Detective Yang Qingya from the City Police Bureau. I suspect the assassin was intentionally targeting your wife, Miss Zhao Li Shui. I hope you'll both come to the station to give a statement." Shen Ran could tell she was capable, so he happily agreed to go with her. Later that night, after giving their statements at the station, the two were allowed to leave. The police thanked them for their testimony. Even as a driver took them home, Li Shui was still sulking and refused to even look at Shen Ran. Suddenly, Shenron's phone buzzed. It was a text from Lin Feng warning him that his house was being staked out. He pretended to have a stomach ache. "Ma'am, we're still pretty far from the villa. Could you take me to the nearest public restroom?" Li Shui clenched her fists in frustration. What terrible sin did I commit in my past life to end up with such a weak and cowardly man? I swear I'm going to my dad and getting this sorted out. I'm definitely divorcing him. Shenran arrived at a deserted building and coldly announced, "All right everyone, come on out. It'll save me the trouble of hunting you down one by one." The moment he spoke, a swarm of assassins dropped down on him, but these pests were barely worth his notice. With a single wave of his hand, he took them all down in an instant. Shenran walked up to a room and opened the door. Just as he suspected, their boss was waiting inside. A man covered in tattoos held a glass of wine. He complimented Shenran, saying he was impressive for finding this place so quickly. He then announced, "I'm in a good mood today. If you kneel and kowtow 3 times, I might just spare your pathetic life." Shenran retorted with a serious face, "I'll give you a chance too. Lick the boot prints off the floor. Tell me who hired you to kill my wife, and maybe I'll spare times your times. Pathetic life." Hearing this, the man burst out laughing. "Ha, you must be insane." Before he could finish, Shenran's fist completely caved his face in. Then, Shenran laid out his entire profile. "Your name is Rolls-Royce from the Empire, the #2 assassin of the Blood Soul organization. In the underworld, any organization not ranked in the top 100 is considered absolute trash. Who hired you? Speak or die." Terrified, the man stammered, Who in the world are you?" Before he could finish, Shenran stomped on his chest, making him scream in agony. He then tossed down a token, offering one last chance. "This is also the only chance for your Blood Soul organization." Seeing the token, the man started laughing with glee. "To think I actually tried to take on Hades? Dying at the hands of Hades is the greatest honor of my entire life. I can tell you who hired me, but you have to be the one to kill me. That way, my name will be known throughout the entire underworld." It was a man with the alias Fei Long. He's the one who hired Blood Soul to assassinate Zhao Li Shui. Hearing this, a murderous aura flared in Shenran's eyes. "You can die now." He then called Lin Fei. "Help me investigate someone in the underworld named Fei Long, and send a team to clean up these bodies for me." Lin Fei, on the other end, told him not to hang up. They had already dealt with the grunts and identified the mastermind as the same Fei Long he just mentioned. They had already dug up all his detailed info. Hearing this, Shenran angrily bent a steel bar in his hands. "If I knew it would be this easy, I wouldn't have wasted my breath on that psycho. I should have just killed him." Lin Fei reported, "This Fei Long is the young master of the Long family in Jinghua City. He's the CEO of the Long Wu Group, whose family has been the richest in China for 10 years straight. However, we still haven't figured out why he hired assassins to kill sister-in-law." Shenran ordered Lin Fei to keep investigating. "Anyone who wants my wife's life, I'll make them disappear from this world, forever." Meanwhile, Li Shui was anxiously pacing back and forth, waiting for Shenran. Just then, Shenran walked out, his face smudged with dirt. "I saw you weren't back yet, so I went ahead and cleaned the living room to make it nice for your guests." Li Shui walked past him coldly and said, "Get out of my sight, right now." He just smiled gently to calm her down. "Honey, we haven't even eaten lunch. I'll go make it right away." So he storms off to cook dinner for her. Before he can finish, she yells, "If you're not leaving, I am." And with that, she leaves him behind and walks out. Tham Nien worries. If she goes out now, he won't be able to protect her. So he tells her, "You stay here, I'll go." After he leaves, Latuyet is filled with regret, wondering why she blew up at Tham Nien. She sobs in frustration. "All you had to do was be a little braver and grab my hand. But you couldn't even do that. Why did you choose to run away all by yourself, lying under a tree?" Tham Nien sighs. He never expected things to turn out this way. "Looks like I gotta call my father-in-law." He calls his esteemed father-in-law, but before he can finish his sentence, the man starts yelling, "What the hell are you doing? Latuyet was almost killed by a sniper today. Weren't you supposed to be by her side protecting her? How could you let something like that happen?" He can't take it and has to turn off the speakerphone. "Dad, please calm down. Let me explain." After hearing Tham Nien's explanation, his father-in-law finally starts to cool down, but he says Tham Nien was truly reckless this time and didn't think things through. To ensure Latuyet's safety, he insists on arranging a female bodyguard to be by her side. Even if she's not as skilled as Tham Nien, she can at least buy him some time to protect Latuyet properly. He forces a laugh and says a bodyguard is fine, "But sir, you've got to help me out first. How am I supposed to get back into the mansion?" Her dad says, "I can help you, but I better not see this happen again. Otherwise I won't be able to help you even if I wanted to." Tham Nien promises it'll never happen again. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up now. He hangs up before the man can even agree, making him furious. Meanwhile, Latuye is speeding in her supercar over to her father's house. Today she's determined to tell him she wants a divorce from Tham Nien. At the main Triu family residence, as Latuye walks in, a young woman opens the door for her. She wonders who this girl is, and why she's in her father's house. The girl then leads Latuye inside. She has 2 knives tucked at her hip, and a cross-shaped scar on her leg. Inside, Mr. Trio asks her, why so early? Have you eaten yet? She ignores her dad and declares that she is divorcing Tham Nien, period. Mr. Trio says, I already know what happened at the restaurant. You can't blame Tham Nien in a situation like that, so don't be angry with him. This girl's name is Bang Tone. She's the personal bodyguard I hired for you. Latuye grits her teeth and says, fine, the female bodyguard can stay, but I am absolutely divorcing him. At this, Mr. Trio Bang gets serious. According to your marriage agreement, if you file for divorce unilaterally, Tham Nien will get half the shares of our Triu family's Thien Han Cosmetics. So if you're still sticking to your decision, then get ready to hand over half the company's shares to him. Hearing this, Latuye hesitates, but she's still furious about being left alone when her life was on the line. Mr. Triu Bang doesn't want to hear it and tells her to go home. End of discussion. With that, a frustrated Latuye has no choice but to return to her mansion. The moment she walks in, she sees a shameless Tham Nien standing there. Your dad just called and told me to come back. He tells her dinner is ready, and she should eat. She coldly tells him there's a party tonight, and that he's coming with her. He happily agrees. As he sees her off, he tells her to be careful on the road, and that he'll wait to pick her up in the evening. After Latuye leaves, Tham Nien goes to check on something. He heads to the Tam Duyen orphanage. The director tells him to stop sending money. He sends way too much each time, and they can't spend it all. Tham Nien tells her not to worry, because while he's doing fine, he doesn't have much time to come back and visit. Besides, it's not that much. If it weren't for this orphanage and you, director, I would have starved to death long ago. Suddenly a truck comes barreling towards them from behind, but Tham Nien's reflexes are insane. He yanks the director out of the way just in time. On the truck, a group of women and children are crying and screaming for help. Tham Nien tells them to stay calm. He quickly leaps onto the truck's roof. He yells, asking if the driver is crazy, but it turns out the driver is already unconscious from an injury. Seeing this, Tham Nien smashes through the windshield. He screams in anger, "You son of a bitch, driving drunk." Just then, a little boy points and yells that there's a car up ahead. Tham Nien looks over and his blood runs cold. They're about to crash. He immediately grabs the driver by the collar, yanks him out of the seat and takes his place. Luckily, he manages to stop the truck just in the nick of time. The other driver is seeing red, flipping him the bird and yelling, "Do you even know how to drive?" Tham Nien collapses in his seat, breathing a sigh of relief that everyone's okay. He turns around and spots a shock of pink hair. It's a girl. The sudden stop had sent her flying forward. Tham Nien instinctively reaches out to catch her, but accidentally ends up copping a full handful. This stuns them both. The girl jumps back in shock. While they're frozen in awkwardness, the kids in the back start cheering, hailing Tham Nien as their Superman for saving them. He reassured them, saying it was fine as long as they were okay. "Let's all go back so the director won't worry." The pink-haired girl asked him, "Are you a friend of the director?" "I'm the kid's teacher. My name is Chin Fei-ro. Thank you for saving us." He told her to be more careful next time with so many children. Hearing this, she stammered, thinking to herself, "If the director finds out about this, I'm definitely getting disciplined. He seems to know the director. I'm so screwed, so screwed." But Shen Ran was just telling the kids not to mention the incident on the bus, because the director is old and shouldn't be worried. That's when the pink-haired girl realized she had totally misjudged him. When they got back, the director was moved to tears. "You're all finally back. Quick, get inside." Shen Ran told the director, "I'm living in Dunghai City now. I'll come visit often." He then offered a stack of cash, but the director refused. With that done, Shen Ran turned to leave, reminding them to take care of their health. Fei-ru asked the director, "Was he one of the children raised at our orphanage?" Director Su Hai slowly began to tell Chin Fei-ro about Shen Ran's past. An image of Shen Ran was already forming in her mind. She promised herself she'd thank him properly if they ever met again. Back home, Li Shui reminded him, "There's a critically important auction tonight. When we get there, don't you dare say anything stupid. Here are your clothes, go get changed." Shen Ran was delighted. "As you wish, wifey." He looked incredibly handsome in the white suit. He sat down and asked Li Shui, "All set?" Over on her side, Li Shui looked absolutely gorgeous in an off-the-shoulder dress, like a beautiful princess. Even Shen Ran had to blurt out, "You're so beautiful." Li Shui told him, "Had your fill of looking, let's go." At the party hall, Li Shui was still warning him not to talk nonsense, not wanting any incidents. The guy with glasses from before came over and said, "Li Shui, right on time. You look stunning today. Mr. Shen, you came too. I hope you won't be running away halfway through this time, eh?" Shenron shot back with a smirk. "Oh, I won't be running away. But tell me, Mr. Liu, is your hand still hurting? Did you bring extra pants today? Or did you switch to adult diapers?" Hearing Shenran's savage comeback, the guy was furious. Just then, a hand reached out to stop him. An extremely arrogant man spoke up. "What right does a live-in son-in-law of the Zhao family have to speak here? Is this a place for your kind? Why did Zhao Zhengbang find someone like you, a clueless son-in-law who doesn't know his place, and you even dared to bring him out? How shameful." Li Shui spoke up to defend him. "Shenran is my husband. Our Tianyan Cosmetics also received an invitation from Shui Mei Company to this auction. If I can bring him here, he absolutely has the right to be here." He pointed right at Zhao Li Shui's face and said, "Zhao Zhengbang didn't come himself and instead sent you. With this disgraceful nobody. Seems he's not very confident about winning this bid." Shenran told the man, "If you're that confident, let's make a bet on who wins the bid today." The man's face darkened with fury. "Who the hell are you? What right do you have to bet with me?" "CEO Liu, if you think I'm not qualified, what if my wife and I representing Tianyan Cosmetics make a bet with you? Would you dare take it, CEO Liu?" He declared confidently, "What's there not to dare? The question is, what are the stakes? A live-in son-in-law like you probably can't offer anything." He held up 4 fingers and said, "CEO Liu, our companies already have plenty of simple partnerships. Whichever side loses has to give the other a 40% discount on top of all existing partnerships for the next 3 years. Hearing the massive stakes made Li Shui anxious. A 40% discount for the loser, that would mean losing 40 million every month. Is this guy insane? On the other side, CEO Liu was resolute. "Fine, it's a deal." Hearing this, Shenran said, "Not so fast." The man slammed the table and yelled, "What, regretting it already? If you're backing out now, get on your knees in front of everyone and apologize to me and my son." Shenran said, "You misunderstand. The stakes and the bet are unchanged. I just hope everyone here today can be a witness to our wager." The people around were stunned. Looks like there was going to be a good show. A mere live-in son-in-law daring to make such a bold bet. He's got a death wish. Li Shui worriedly asked him, "Do you have any idea what you're doing? If we lose it means..." Before she could finish, he pretended to have a stomachache and needed to use the restroom. In the guest lounge on the 2nd floor, Shenran knocked on the door and went inside. A tall man came out and said, "I didn't expect to see you here." He looked surprised to see him. This was one of the 3 major partners of the cosmetics company. This guy's name is Christopher. He tells Shenran to have a seat while he goes to pour some coffee. Shenran glances at his laptop and sees he's watching a Japanese movie. He teases him. "Long time no see. Still got your old habit of sipping coffee while watching Japanese flicks, huh?" The guy gets all flustered saying, "Hey, even if you know, you don't have to say it out loud." Shenran gets straight to the point. "I came here today, hoping you could help me with something. There's a company called Tianyan Cosmetics participating in the Wei Mei bidding event. I'm hoping they can win the contract." He says that's no problem, but asks, "What's your relationship with this company? If you want me to pick them, you gotta at least tell me if they're trustworthy." Shenran casually sips his coffee. "The chairman of Tianyan Cosmetics is my father-in-law, and the CEO is my wife. Is that trustworthy enough for you?" Christopher is stunned. Hearing that, he says, "Well, in that case, Tianyan Cosmetics is as good as the winner." He walks over, pats Shenran on the shoulder, and says, "I never would have guessed. A guy like you getting tied down by one woman. That's hard to believe. I seriously have to see your wife for myself. Just what kind of woman is she? It's hard to imagine how beautiful she must be to have married you." Shenran finishes his coffee, puts down the cup, and says he's leaving it to him before heading out. The guy calls after him, "Hey, wait up, I agreed to help you, so you should help me with something in return, right? I've lost contact with my daughter. The intel I've gathered suggests she might be in Tenghai City." Shenran tells him not to worry. "If she's in Tenghai City, I'll definitely help you find her." With a quick wave, he heads back to his wife, and the two of them go out to eat. Seeing how unconcerned Shenran is, Li Shui thinks he has an ace up his sleeve. People start whispering, "That brat is still in the mood to eat. He's about to lose the bet. Is he gonna get thrown out of the house?" The partnership with Tianhua Group brings in at least $1 billion a month. If he gives a 40% discount, that's a loss of 40 million. This kid is totally screwed. He should have just been a good-for-nothing freeloader, but instead, he just had to stir up trouble. Just then, Christopher arrives to announce the results. He thanks everyone for participating in today's bid. "We have the preliminary results. 3 companies will be moving on to the 2nd round of the selection process." He reads out the chosen company's Tianhua Group and Li Rong Cosmetics. Hearing this, the crowd starts whispering again. Those two are the biggest cosmetic companies in Tanghai City, nearly on par with Shui Mei Cosmetics. How could the third spot possibly go to a company like Tian Yan Cosmetics? That Shen guy is definitely losing the bet this time. This is what happens when you don't know your place. Despite this, Shenran keeps eating happily like it's no big deal. Just then, Christopher announces the final company is Tian Yan Cosmetics. This leaves CEO Liu absolutely stunned. He shouts, "What?" But then he reassures himself, they're probably just a filler pick. Among the three companies, Tian Yan is by far the weakest. As long as Christopher isn't a complete idiot, he'll never choose their company. That's when Shen Ran calls out to CEO Liu, "Well, what do you know? Our Tian Yan Cosmetics made it to the list for round 2. Looks like our bet is just getting started." CEO Liu snaps, "It's just the nomination list. You think you've already won the bid? Mr. Christopher probably just threw you a bone because he felt sorry for you. And you actually took it seriously. You said, 'Our bet is just getting started,' so you dare to raise the stakes." Shen Ran pops a strawberry into his mouth and says, "I'd be happy to." Fine, the loser doesn't just lose the money, they also have to kowtow 3 times to the winner, and on top of that, they have to shout, "I am garbage." Shen Ran asks CEO Liu, "So, if you lose, will you be kneeling and kowtowing alone, or will it be both you and your son?" He replies, "This bet is between you and me, so naturally, winning or losing is also between you and me." Hearing that Shen Ran agrees to the conditions set by the guy in glasses, Christopher continues the announcement for the 3 nominated companies. "Next, I will invite a representative from each company to come on stage and write down their terms for this partnership. That includes how much you're willing to invest and what percentage of the profit you expect to receive. After that, I will publicly review the offers and announce the winning company." Li Shui gets worried not knowing what to do, since she never expected to get into the second round. But Shen Ran is still completely unfazed. "Just leave this to me, don't worry." He's confident that his company will win the bid. A moment later, the organizers announce that all 3 companies have submitted their proposals. Now it's time to announce the results. Li Rong Cosmetics has agreed to invest 50 billion, hoping to get 30% of the profits from this contract. "I'm sorry we cannot partner with Li Rong Cosmetics. The next 2 companies make this a very difficult choice. Tianhua Group has agreed to invest 50 billion, hoping for 25% of the profits. As for Tianyan Cosmetics, they've offered 40 billion for a 20% profit share." Hearing this, Liu Jun, the guy in glasses, was sure his company would win the bid. Just then, Christopher continued, "However, the investment from Tianyan Cosmetics is only slightly less and their requested profit share is also smaller. Therefore, we declare that the winning bidder is Tianyan Cosmetics." Seriously, what kind of lame excuse is that? Hearing this, Liu Jun shot up, pointed right at Christopher and yelled, "You damn foreigner, you must be in cahoots with that Shen guy. How else could his company have possibly won?" Liu Guang heard this and said, "Jun, don't embarrass yourself any further. Let's go." But Shen Ran wasn't about to let them off the hook. He stepped forward and said, "Since you lost the bet, shouldn't you honor our agreement?" But Liu Guang was still fuming. "Shen Ran I Liu Guang will remember this day. I'll let you have this one, but we are not done." With that, he told his son to leave with him. But Shen Ran calmly said, "Mr. Liu, you can go, but your son can't leave until he honors our deal." Beside him, Li Shui whispered, "Don't take it too far." She'd heard that Liu Guang had connections with the criminal underworld. But Shen Ran wouldn't back down. "Mr. Liu," he said, "you're a big shot in this city. Surely you wouldn't let your son break his promise, right?" Liu Jun, standing by his side, snapped, "You Shen, don't you push it." His father said, "Shen Ran, you should always leave yourself a way out. We'll meet again. If you see this through to the end, you won't be able to handle the consequences." Shen Ran said, he can go, but his son must do what he promised before he can leave. Otherwise, he's not taking a single step out of this auction today. The old man arrogantly scoffed. "It's been many years since anyone dared to speak to me like that." He then ordered his men to attack. Shen Ran stood in front of the 2 women shielding them and told the female bodyguard to get Li Shui out of the hall, saying he'd join them in 10 minutes. As Li Shui was pulled away, she looked back, telling Shen Ran to be careful. She was worried something would happen to him. The aggressive thugs approached Liu Guang with weapons asking for his orders. He commanded coldly, "Cripple all 4 of this kid's limbs for me. Just make sure he doesn't die." Outside the hall, Li Shui wouldn't stand by and kept trying to rush back in, but the bodyguard stopped her, saying Mr. Shen could handle it himself. "Miss, please follow me." She angrily turned, slapped the bodyguard across the face, and said, "I can look down on him or humiliate him, but no one else can. No matter what, he is still my husband, at least in name." The bodyguard's cheek swelled from the slap, but she didn't dare say a word after hearing Lixue's heartfelt words. Lixue rushed back to Shenran's location, her heart filled with worry, thinking, just hang on a little longer, I'm definitely coming to save you. When Lixu arrived, she saw Shenran standing there, completely fine. But what truly shocked her was the sight of Liu Jun kneeling and apologizing, calling himself trash and a total loser. Panting, Lixu called out to Shenran, who was still holding Liu Guang by the collar. Seeing her, his expression instantly softened into a smile. Let's go home, he said. The old man was still seething. You, Shen, this isn't over, you just wait. I'll repay today's humiliation 1,000 times over, Shenran simply told him. Go ahead and try. Once in the car, Lixue asked in disbelief, what on earth did you do to Liu Guang, and you even made Liu Jun kneel and beg for forgiveness? Do you have any idea how serious the consequences of your actions might be? Shenran ignored her, coolly pulling something out of his pocket. He happily showed her the partnership contract with Tianyan Cosmetics. Christopher already signed it. All it needs is President Zhao's signature, and the contract will be official. Reading the contract, she was stunned. Weren't we getting 20% of the profits? Why does the contract say 30%? Shenran said nonchalantly, Mr. Christopher most likely made a mistake when he wrote it. But Lixue wasn't a chicken. She told him, don't treat me like a fool. How could he make a mistake on something this important? Did you already know him from before? Seeing he was caught, Shenran pretended to come clean, saying he drove for him a few times when he was abroad. He agreed to partner with us because he trusts President Zhao's ability and sees the potential of Tianyan Cosmetics. Hearing this, the naive Lixue temporarily believed him. Just then, her phone rang. She picked it up, her face lighting up when she saw it was her mom calling. Her mom told her to come home for dinner tomorrow, but don't bring that useless baggage with you. She simply replied, I know. Shenran sighed, but Li Shui could guess what he was thinking. She took his hand and asked him to come to her family's home for dinner the next night. Our hero blushed a little and said, I know. The next day, at Shenran's in-laws' house, the two of them walked in together carrying a fruit basket. Her mother was surprised. Why is Shenran here too? He quickly said, Mom, Li Shua, and I bought this fruit for you. She turned away and said, since you're here, don't just stand around, go make dinner. He clearly wasn't happy about that, but he didn't react. The mother leaned in and whispered to her daughter, you need to get rid of this poor bum and fast. Li Shui said awkwardly, Mom, please don't talk about him like that. Shenran felt the sting of being labeled a poor, useless loser. Just then, a well-dressed man came and rang the doorbell. Li Shui's mother opened the door and chirped, Xiaoqing, you're here. Shenran had a hunch that his mother-in-law had an ulterior motive. A polite young man walked in and said, I brought a little gift for you this time. They're antiques I bought overseas. I hope you like them. The mother-in-law was overjoyed. Oh Xiaoqing, you always know me best. I'm very passionate about antiques. He then turned and casually asked, why is the hired help listening in on our conversation? Then he answered his own question. So this must be Li Shui's husband. My name is Lu Xiaoqing. I was Li Shui's first love. Mr. Shen, to marry into the Zhao family, you must have some special talent. However, the rumors about you aren't exactly flattering. Shenran stayed calm. Mr. Lu, you don't even know what I'm capable of. How can you say I'm not worthy of Li Shui? The mother-in-law glared. How dare you speak to our guest like that? So disrespectful. Li Shui couldn't stay silent anymore. Our marriage is none of your concern, Mr. Lu. If you're not busy, please stay for dinner. But if you are busy, you're free to go. Shenran then uncovered a table laden with delicious dishes. He said, Mr. Lu, since you came all this way, you should at least eat before you leave. Please try some. Lu Xiaoqing looked on with contempt, thinking, I thought you had some skill, but it turns out you're just a cook. Sooner or later, Li Shui will come back to me. After dinner, every single dish on the table had been polished off. The mother-in-law piped up again. Xiaoqing, dear, that blue and white porcelain set you gave me must be worth 400 or 500,000, right? He declared confidently, this blue and white porcelain vase has been authenticated by experts. It was an imperial item from the Tang dynasty. It's not much, only about 10 million. Hearing that price, she nearly fainted. But Shenran just snorted with laughter. This vase looks beautiful, he said, but it's just a fake. The other guy didn't believe him. Mr. Shen, you say my vase is a fake. Do you have any proof? Shenran explained, the Tang dynasty is when blue and white porcelain first appeared. Back then, the production techniques weren't perfected yet. This vase of yours is crafted too exquisitely. It's definitely not an excavated antique. He picked up the vase and scoffed. You're just an ignorant country bumpkin. This vase of mine was an imperial item. As if commoners could ever afford to use porcelain like this. The mother-in-law angrily pointed at Shenran and yelled, Xiaoqing is right, a hillbilly like you, have you ever even seen the world? Li Shui interrupted, I just remembered something at the company, Shenran and I have to go now. In her heart she thought, he might only be my husband in name, but you people have no right to insult him. Just then, the head of the Zhao family, Zhao Bang, arrived home. I just got back, he said. Why are you two leaving already? Are you trying to avoid seeing your old dad? At that moment, Xiaoqing recognized the man walking beside Mr. Zhao. He asked, Is that Mr. Wu Zhongyuan, the most renowned antiques expert in all of Huaxia? The man chuckled. That's just a humble reputation. Seeing this, Lu Xiaoqing was overjoyed. Master Wu, could I trouble you to take a look? Is this blue and white vase I gifted, Auntie Lin authentic? Hearing it was a gift for Mrs. Zhao, he happily obliged. After a careful examination, Master Wu Zhongyuan began his analysis. This is a blue and white vase from the era of Emperor Taizong of Tang. It is indeed quite a rare find. Judging by the technique, it was likely an imperial piece, possibly even used by the emperor himself. Hearing this, Xiaoqing said smugly, You certainly have a sharp eye, sir. I was sure this vase was from the Tang dynasty used by Emperor Taizong himself. However, a moment ago this Mr. Shen here claimed it was a fake. The expert then turned to Shenran. On what basis do you say that Li Shui, embarrassed, tried to defend him? My husband was just speaking casually. Please don't mind him. It was only then that the expert realized Shenran was the Zhao family's live-in son-in-law. He turned to Mr. Zhao. You have a real gift for antiques, but your judgment of people is seriously lacking. The harsh mother-in-law chimed in. The master is right. I was against this marriage from the very start, but some people just wouldn't listen, accepting a good-for-nothing like him as a son-in-law. Hearing this, Thumb Nian couldn't take it anymore and spoke up. Old Master Wu, are you absolutely sure this vase isn't a fake? Mr. Zhao heard this and snapped. Thumb Nian, don't be rude. Master Wu has never been wrong before. Apologize to him this instant. Old Master Wu got angry too. If a live-in son-in-law like you doesn't give me a clear explanation today, I swear I won't let this go. Chen Xiaoqing was thrilled to hear that. If this guy manages to offend Old Master Wu, his days as a live-in son-in-law are over. Then with a little effort on my part, won't Zhao Lixue just obediently climb right into my bed? Lixue on the other hand thought, if Wu Zhongyuan doesn't let Thumb Nian off the hook, Dad will have no choice but to force us to divorce. But I don't want to divorce him now. Just then, Thumb Nian held up the vase and said confidently, Actually, the reason I say it's a fake is very simple. Besides the technique and the era being wrong, there's one other crucial flaw. The mouth of the vase is too perfect, absolutely flawless. Hearing this, the old man was stunned. After examining it again, he thought to himself, he's exactly right. A genuine Tang dynasty, blue and white vase, could hardly have such a perfectly crafted mouth. Then he said, while it's extremely rare for a Tang vase to have a perfect mouth, that alone isn't enough to prove this is a forgery. After all, this was an item for the emperor's exclusive use. It's possible they could have achieved such perfection, right? Master Wu is right. That point alone isn't enough to call this vase a fake, but Master Wu, please observe the very bottom of it carefully. He peered deep into the base, then tapped the mouth, refusing to believe his eyes had failed him. Anxious Xiaoqing couldn't hold back anymore. You're just spouting nonsense. My blue and white vase has lapis lazuli at its base. That's a feature only true imperial items have. You're just talking out of your neck. Look how angry you've made, Master Wu. Just then, a startled Master Wu put the vase down. Xiaoqing thought he was winning. Master Wu, calm down. I'll teach this little brat a lesson for you. But then, old Master Wu spoke slowly. Mr. Thumb has an incredible eye. It seems this old man's eyes are failing me. This vase is indeed a fake. A Tang dynasty blue and white vase would never have lapis lazuli at its base, because that feature only appeared during the Yuan dynasty. Then he bowed deeply in apology. If it weren't for Mr. Thumb's reminder, my lifelong reputation would have been ruined. Please accept this old man's bow of respect. Thumb Nian smiled gently. Master Wu, it was just a momentary oversight. There's no need for such a grand gesture. Chen Xiaoqing screamed in disbelief. That's impossible. I spent 10 million on it. It was appraised by countless experts. How could it possibly be a fake? Hearing this, old Master Wu retorted angrily. Are you questioning my professional judgment? Even with superb forgery techniques, a fake is still just a fake. At that, the guy was left completely speechless. Old Master Wu knelt again, saying, Mr. Thumb, you are a true master. I can't believe Zhengbang is lucky enough to have you as a son-in-law. He is truly blessed. I wonder if Mr. Thumb would be willing to accept this old man as his disciple. Thumb Nian went to help him up and said, Master Wu, there's no need. I just have a friend who specializes in making antique forgeries, and he once told me about this. Suddenly, a loud crash times echoed as the vase shattered into pieces. The shameless Chen Xiaoqing said, I can't believe this blue and white vase was a fake. It's all thanks to Mr. Thumb's sharp eye that we found out the truth today. I will definitely repay you for this favor in the future. Thumb Nian chuckled and said, sure, that's fine by me, but Mr. Chen, maybe don't bring fakes next time. After all, you seem to be so easily fooled. He clenched his fists and said, Mr. Thumb, you're quite the joker. I will be sure to remember what happened today. On the way home, Li Xue thought to herself that Thumb Nian was becoming more and more of an enigma. Who is he really? Then she blushed, embarrassed to realize she was starting to actually care about him. Just then, their car arrived home. Her bodyguard Bing Shuang stepped out to open the door for her. Thumb Nian called out from behind, I have something to take care of tomorrow, so I'd like to request the day off. Without turning back, she replied, you've done what you needed to do. You can go wherever you want, you don't need to ask for my permission. After Thumb Nian had walked away, she turned to sneak a glance at him. A day off? Is he going to meet someone? That evening at Haibo Bar, a beautiful blonde girl was dancing to the music. Thumb Nian had come here to find Christopher's daughter. His eyes lit up when he spotted her. Marcoli was happily hugging a pole, exclaiming, this is the life. She felt like she had reached the peak of existence. Just then, a guy calling himself Baldy Chang walked over and said, hey little miss, interested in having some fun with me? How about you and my boys party with us all night long? Hey, my head's on straight. Hearing that, she replied, I don't know you guys and I'm not interested in pouring my heart out over drinks. Now get out of my way. The bald creep licked his lips, about to cop a feel. Hey, beautiful, of course, we're strangers at first. Meet a few more times and we'll be old friends. How are you gonna get to know us if you won't even have a drink? Just then, Thumb Mian stepped in, grabbing the man's hand tightly. The guy yelped in pain. Who the hell are you, kid? Let go of me right now, or I'll bury you here. Thumb Mian ignored him completely, turning to the girl to say, your dad sent me to take you home. Let's go, she said with a grin. Teach these guys a lesson for me, and I'll go home with you. The goons behind them rushed in to handle Thumb Mian. He grabbed the baldy, threw him at another guy, then casually scooped up a handful of peanuts. Then he flicked them toward the thugs. The peanuts shot out like bullets, seriously injuring them and making them spit blood. He then calmly led Marcoli by the hand out of the bar. She remarked, you're just as ruthless as you used to be. But I like it. Tailing him, she added, I promise I won't run away tonight. However, Mr. Thumb, could you do something for me? Just tell my dad you couldn't find me, and tonight I'm all yours. Saying this, she slipped off her shoes and hugged him, her hand trying to grab his junk, but he shoved her away. She cried out in pain. Angrily, she snapped, you came to get me without a car, and you're calling a taxi. You've got to be the cheapest guy for hire in history. Ignoring her complaints, he hailed a taxi anyway. In the background, Lei Tuiet was secretly tailing them. She was shocked to see Thumb Mian enter the bar and then leave with some other girl. Bang Toan asked, should we go say hello? But Lei Tuiet just replied, let's go back. By now, Thumb Mian had returned Christopher's daughter to him. The man bowed deeply, thanking him. About the partnership with Tianhan Cosmetics, I've already taken care of everything. Thumb Mian smiled. It was just a fair deal, but now I have another business proposition just for you. Surprised, he asked, what is it? I'm hoping you can join forces with me to deal with the Longvu group in Qinhua City. You can name any price. Hearing this, the man recoiled in shock. You can't be kidding me, right? The Longvu group might be the third-ranked corporation in all of Huaxia, but their real power is much greater than we imagine. Seeing his reaction, Thumb Mian thought to himself, just what kind of background does this Longvu group have for even him to be so afraid of them? Back home, Thumb Mian snuck inside like a thief. He was a bit late tonight and wasn't sure if Lei Tuiet was already asleep. But when he got inside, he saw her waiting on the living room sofa. He scratched his head. President Triu, why are you still up so late? How about I make you a late-night snack? She shouted. Freeze! Where were you this afternoon and what were you doing? And where were you after 7 p.m.? He put on his most innocent face. This afternoon, I went to meet a friend. After 7 p.m. I took my friend home. Lei Tuiet couldn't hold it in anymore. A friend? You mean a gorgeous foreign girl with a curvy body and shimmering blonde hair? Right. You said you took her home after 7 p.m., but it's 11 p.m. now and you're just getting back. Actually, while waiting for a taxi earlier, she'd seen his car. She was shocked to realize she was jealous. Now she screamed, tears welling in her eyes. In all that time between 7 and 11 p.m., what were you doing with her? He choked out. After I dropped her off, her dad immediately took her back to her country. I didn't have any money on me, so I had to walk all the way back. But Lei Tuiet wasn't buying it. Do you take me for a 3-year-old kid? I don't ever want to come back here again. Sobbing, she ran for the car, wondering what on earth she was so mad about. Wasn't I supposed to not care about that guy anyway? Meanwhile, he ordered his female bodyguard follow her. Now, she needs to blow off some steam. If there's any sign of danger, report to me immediately. At Tien Vun Mountain on the outskirts of Dong Hai City, Lei Tuet cried to herself, this must be because I failed to get a divorce. That's why Thum Mien is out playing the field, living the high life. And I feel so humiliated, that's why I'm so mad. Then she screamed at the top of her lungs, Thum Mien, one day I'll be free of you, you just wait. Just then, Bang Tuan arrived. Suddenly sensing danger, she dove forward and tackled Lei Tuet, dodging an incoming bullet. She then pulled out a pistol and fired back, quickly taking down the two assassins. She stood in front of Lei Tuet, saying, stay behind me. At that moment, her gun ran out of ammo. A voice called out, good thing we prepared 2 human shields, otherwise, we'd be screwed. You must be out of bullets now, right? Fourth brother, she's all yours. Bang Tuan rushed in to attack, but Scarface grabbed her by the arm. Then he landed a solid punch to her gut. Next, fourth brother grabbed Lei Tuet by the throat, telling Bang Tuan, she's not bad looking. But you're way too weak. With pathetic skills like that, how are you supposed to protect her? Just die already. Tuyet was struggling to breathe, thinking this was the end for her. Suddenly, a figure dashed in like a bolt of lightning. Swooping in to hold her, it was none other than Shen Nian. She was stunned to see him, but he just said, I had a bad feeling. So, I followed you here. I'm not too late, am I? She urged him to run, saying these guys were all assassins. It's okay, he told her. Leave the rest to me. Shen Nian struck, first landing a brutal uppercut on an assassin's chin, knocking the guy flat on his back. He then told the bodyguard, go protect Miss Zhao. I'll handle things here. The boss sneered. Someone put a price on your head, and you still dare to show up. Shen Nian just coolly lit a cigarette. He said Lu Guang has some nerve hiring the 4 heavenly wolves to come deal with me. The 4 assassins charged, shouting, if you know our name, you're not leaving here alive. Shen Nian ducked, dodging their attack. He spun into a roundhouse kick on the fourth brother, then twisted back to smash his foot into the blue-haired guy's face. His right fist then flew crashing into the boss's face. Le Tuyet watched in shock. Is that really Shen Nian? She couldn't believe he was taking on 4 guys so effortlessly. The boss and the blue-haired guy charged at Shen Nian again. He grabbed them both by the neck. So how do you two want to die? The fourth brother asked in shock. Who the hell are you? A guy with your strength shouldn't be wasting time in Hanghai City, much less being a live-in son-in-law. He tossed the 2 aside and sneered, scum, who only bully women don't have the right to know my name. I'll give you a way out. Only 2 of you 4 get to live. You decide who. Your time limit. 1 cigarette. The fourth brother put a knife to his own throat. Of us 4 brothers, I'm the weakest. I should be the one to die first. One of his brothers reached out. We have no choice. But he suddenly flipped his knife and stabbed the man next to him, yelling, then you die. The blue-haired guy shouted, what the hell are you doing? Before he could finish his sentence, the boss ran him through, saying, the fourth brother wasn't wrong. He then turned to Shen Nian. Can we go now? I've already killed 2 of my own brothers. Shen Nian's expression turned icy. I said only 2 of you would live. But I never said I was letting you go. Tie yourselves up, then you're taking me to the man who hired you. He then told Le Tuyet to head home, saying he had to take care of something. She was still completely stunned, wondering if that was really the Shen Nian she knew. Meanwhile, at Lu Guang's house, he was screaming, I told you not to cause more trouble. You just had to go and kill her, didn't you? Won't you be satisfied until you've angered me to death? On the floor was a dead girl. Lu Guang's son knelt and begged, I'm sorry, father, I know I was wrong, I just suddenly thought of Shen Nian and Zhao Le Tuyet, and I just lost control. Liu Guang ordered his men, drag this little punk downstairs. Burn all the clothes he was wearing. As for the body, move it to the living room. I have a plan. Just then a henchman reported to Liu Guang, Sir, we just got a call. The 2nd and 3rd of the heavenly wolves are dead. Shen Nian is bringing their leader and the 4th brother here now. Liu Guang looked thrilled. Perfect timing. Go prep the girl's body. By the time that brat Shen arrives, I imagine the cops will be here too. His plan was to frame him. Just then, Shen Nian kicked down the door and tossed the 2 assassins inside. Liu Guang, get out here. I brought your lapdogs back, so come and claim your package. Suddenly, the police shouted from outside. Everyone inside, hands on your head, get on the ground. We received a report of an assault and the murder of a young woman. Sir, please come with us to the station. At that moment, another officer radioed in. We found a girl's body in the bedroom. The captain ordered, take them all away, and contact the owner of this villa, a Mr. Liu Guang. Tell him to get to the station to identify the body. It was then, Shen Nian knew he'd walked right into a trap. He thought to himself, not bad, Liu Guang, you're pretty slick. Later, in an interrogation room at the station, Captain Chu demanded Shen Nian come clean. So why were you at the Liu family's villa? Did you know the victim? Did you kill her? And what about those two guys tied up? Was that your doing? Shen Nian answered coolly, I don't know the victim. I just went to the Liu villa to look for Liu Guang. We had some business to discuss. Captain Chu yelled, the Liu family just confirmed that the victim was Liu Jun's girlfriend. And the two guys you tied up are their bodyguards. Still want to play dumb? You're the killer. Shen Nian shot back. So, who called the cops? And how did you all manage to rush in the exact moment I opened the door? Captain Chu slammed the table. I'm asking the questions here, not you. He then turned away, grabbing his phone. If you don't fess up now, you won't get another chance. He then turned and made a call to Liu Guang. We've got a tricky situation. This kid isn't easily intimidated, and the evidence is flimsy. There's no way to directly convict him. Meanwhile, Liu Guang smirks slyly. Don't worry, I'm working on the evidence. Those two bodyguards will be the witnesses. You just have to pin all the charges on him. Captain Chu also said he'd do everything he can to help. Liu Guang wants to take Shenron down for good, but the detention only lasts 48 hours. He also reminds Liu Guang not to forget his payment. All 3 million of it. At that moment back home, Li Shui was taking care of Bing Quan when the phone rang. She thought it might be Shen Ran, but the caller said they were the police. Excuse me, are you a relative of Shen Ran? He's currently a suspect in a murder case. We need you to come down to the police station. Hearing this, Li Shui immediately agreed to go. She thought to herself, Shen Ran did this for me, now it's my turn to protect him. In the interrogation room, Liu Guang tells Chief Huang, I've brought all the evidence of the murderer Shen Ran's violent crimes. He hands the chief a photo of Shen Ran holding a knife. Li Shui tries to rush in, but the officers hold her back. They tell her to stay out. This time, Shen Ran isn't just a murder suspect, he's also suspected of assaulting the girl. The guy in glasses pulls out a stack of photos. Take a look, sir. These pictures are crystal clear. That punk broke into the villa and then murdered her. Then he pulls out an audio recording. It has the sound of the girl crying for help. He tells the chief, I'm sure this is enough evidence to convict that punk, right? Li Shui yells, no way, Shen Ran didn't even have time to do any of that. He was out there saving me. To protect me, he fought off 4 robbers all by himself. Liu Guang gets right in her face. So where's your proof? Li Shui is left speechless. But then, Shen Ran speaks up from behind them. Chief Huang, may I have my handcuffs removed? I can prove that these photos are complete fakes. Captain Chu points at him and yells, who do you think you are, asking to have your cuffs removed? But Chief Huang thought differently. With all our elite officers here, are we really afraid he'll escape? He then orders them to uncuff Shen Ran. I want to see exactly how he plans to prove it. A female officer then removes Shen Ran's handcuffs. Once free, he walks over to comfort Li Shui, telling her not to worry. You know what kind of man I am. I hate breaking the law more than anything, she tells him. Don't worry about me, just go prove your innocence. Alright, I'll do that right now. He leans over to Officer Yang and whispers, do you have any hand sanitizer? He also asks her for a few other things. He turns to Liu Guang and says, I saw through your pathetic little tricks from the start. I was just playing along for fun. The man in glasses gets furious, but Liu Guang holds him back. He says, Shen Ran, if you're so capable, then show them your proof. Just then, the hand sanitizer is brought over. Shen Ran announces, all right, I'm about to prove it to all of you. The two women watch in amazement, wondering what on earth he's planning. Shen Ran then drips a few drops of the sanitizer onto the photo. He asks Officer Yang for a small box-like item, then gently blows on the photograph. Now he says, you can see the real picture. The image on the photo has now changed, leaving Chief Huang stunned. The person in the picture is Liu Jun, Liu Guang's own son. He screams in panic. This is obviously a trick. Shen Ran is trying to frame my son. Before he can finish, Shen Ran cuts in. Oh, I'm not done yet. CEO Liu, this voice, this name, they sound familiar, don't they? In the recording, a girl's voice pleads Liu Jun, please let me go, but he just screams back, you bitch, it's too late for apologies now. Liu Guang seethes Shen Ran very clever. You've actually got some skills. I won't forget this. He and his bespectacled friend turn to leave. But Chief Huang isn't about to let them go so easily. The chief steps forward, blocking Liu Guang and Liu Bang. You two are under suspicion for fabricating evidence, framing an innocent person, and covering for the real murderer. I'm officially placing you both under arrest. Later that night, Shen Ran and Li Shui walk home. She asks him worriedly, fighting those 4 guys all alone. Did you get hurt? He playfully makes a fist. Thanks for your concern, CEO Zhao, but I'm perfectly fine. Blushing, she retorts, who said I was concerned about you? I was just worried about what I'd have to tell my dad. Speaking of which, why did you go to Liu Guang's mansion anyway? Those 4 thugs were hired by Liu Guang. I just wanted to have a chat with him. As for everything else, it's better if you don't ask. He knows the less she knows, the safer she'll be. Sensing his concern for her, she drops the subject. She can't help but wonder, Shen Ran, who are you really? He seems so different lately, not like he used to be. She then says, tomorrow at 10 a.m., I need you to go to Tanghai City Airport for me. Pick up my little sister. I have an important meeting in the morning and can't make it. Shen Ran gives a confident nod. You can count on me. Don't worry, I got this. The next morning, he calls Director Huang and asks if there's any news. Director Huang tells him that Liu Guang was bailed out by his lawyer and has already left the station. Plus, Liu Peng's testimony hasn't changed. He refuses to admit Liu Guang gave the orders. Even though Liu Guang is out on bail, his son Liu Jun is the murderer, and the evidence against him is solid. He asks Director Huang to please handle the case properly. The director replies, don't worry, the law won't spare any criminals. Meanwhile, it's getting late and he still hasn't seen his sister-in-law. Over at the airport, Le Tuet's younger sister Le Han is walking with her suitcase complaining, it's so hot. A dude with headphones around his neck asks, hey pretty lady all by yourself, that suitcase looks super heavy, let me help you with that, okay? Le Han just tells him, that pickup line is so old. Suddenly, a scar-faced guy walks up and says, you're young, you should be studying, not hitting on innocent girls. The headphone guy gets scared and says, you're absolutely right, boss. Since you've got your eye on her boss, I'll gladly hand her over. The scar-faced guy then grabs her arm and says, hey little lady, why don't you come have some fun with us tonight? He doesn't even get to finish before getting decked right in the face. Shen Ran walks up and says, no need to wait till tonight. I'll give you all the fun you want right now. Le Han is thrilled to see her brother-in-law, thinking, wow, he's so cool. But he ignores her, tells her to follow him, and they walk past the headphone dude who's still shaking in his boots. You let a woman face the danger first, and you call yourself a man. On the way home, Le Han asks in surprise, I haven't seen you in a while. When did you get so badass, brother-in-law? But just being good at fighting is useless. You've got to be good in times department to really conquer my sister. Don't tell me you and my sister haven't even had your wedding night yet. Her brother-in-law doesn't answer. Wait, do you actually have, a problem? Hearing this, an annoyed Shen Ran slams on the gas, startling Le Han. She asks him, did you do that on purpose? Thinking back to what her mom said, Le Han feels like her brother-in-law isn't as useless as her mom made him out to be. Back at the Zhao family villa, Le Han gets home and joyfully yells for Le Tuyet, then tackles her in a hug. I missed you so much, but Le Tuyet backs away, telling her to calm down. I just got back from the office. I need to take a shower first. Go entertain yourself for a bit. Le Han teasingly whispers in Le Tuyet's ear, hey sis, does brother-in-law have, a little problem? Le Tuyet tells her to stop talking nonsense. If not, you guys have been married for ages. Why isn't there a bun in the oven yet? Hearing that Le Tuyet whirls around, points at Shen Ran and demands, what did you say to this little brat? Shen Ran nervously replies, I didn't say a thing. Le Tuyet sighs at her mischievous sister, then heads into the bathroom to shower. That's when she realizes the water valve is broken. She calls Shen Ran in to fix the valve. He shyly averts his eyes and says, all right, let me see what the problem is. She gets closer and asks, can you fix it? Suddenly, she slips on a bar of soap, letting out a scream and grabbing for Shen Ran's hand. And just like in every other romance story, he ends up pinning her beneath him. She stammers, Shen Ran, I'm not ready for that. But then she thinks they have been married for a year. In this moment, she actually wants to take that next step. Living with him this past year, she's felt so safe. She wants him to truly be her man. The air around them suddenly becomes thick with romantic tension. Just when we thought things were about to get steamy, the little troublemaker Le Han shows up. She asks sis, what's taking you so long? And that's when she sees them on the floor together and asks, what are you two doing? Shen Ran quickly explains, I was helping CEO Zhao fix the faucet and I accidentally slipped. Le Han rudely says, well, are you done fixing it? If so, get out. My sister still needs to take her shower. Watching Shen Ran leave, she thinks to herself, that rotten scoundrel, trying to take advantage of my sister, huh? Mom specifically sent me here this time. I have to watch you very, very closely. If you're really the loser my mom says you are, I'll have to step in for the sake of my sister's happiness. Meanwhile, in a police car, Officer Yang thinks to herself, we're escorting Liu Jun to prison. There can be absolutely no mistakes along the way. Suddenly, a gunshot rings out. Officer Yang manages to dodge it, but the bullet hits Liu Jun right in the head. He's killed instantly with no time for any last words. Cut to Liu Guang's villa, where he's screaming, you bunch of useless trash. I told you to save him, not kill him. Now shoot this guy for me, do it now. Damn it, it's all because of the Zhao family and Shen Ran that my son is dead. I'll make them pay for this in blood. At this point, Liu Guang has been driven mad with rage, completely losing his sense of right and wrong. Over at Tanghai University, Lehan is talking to her classmate Chen Yafei. She's being bothered by this guy Cheng Cheng. He's super annoying and just won't go away. Her friend teases her, well, what do you expect? It's because you're so pretty. Just then her suitor Trang Thon shows up. He tells Lehan, I finally found you, but Lehan totally brushes him off. I already told you I'm not interested. Plus I have a boyfriend. Can you please stop bothering me? Right on cue, Shen Yan arrives. Lehan is thrilled he showed up at the perfect time. See, this is my boyfriend Shen Yan. He's here to pick me up, so I'm leaving. Trong Thon angrily gets in Shen Yan's face and yells, my name is Trong Thon and I like Lehan too. I want to compete with you fairly. Do you dare to fight me? Otherwise you'll have to go through me. Shen Yan just scoffs. If you really want to fight, I'll play along. Just don't regret it. Before he can finish, Trang Thon charges forward. I'm the president of the school's taekwondo club. Hope you don't go crying to your mommy. Shen Yan casually blocks the kick with one hand and says, decent power, okay speed. But too bad for you, you're up against me. Then Shen Yan twists his leg, making him scream in pain. He turns to Lehan and says, let's go home for dinner. She happily replies, can I bring my friend home for dinner too? Ya Fei worries. Trang Thon is a petty guy. Now that your boyfriend beat him up, he's just gonna cause you more trouble. Shen Yan cuts in, I'm not her boyfriend. I'm her brother-in-law. The innocent Ya Fei asks, oh, is he that brother-in-law you mentioned? The one who needs to see a doctor for performance issues? He doesn't really look the type though. Lehan snaps, what are you talking about? Shen Yan is absolutely fuming, but stays silent. Just then, he gets a call from Le Tuyet. Shen Yan answers, what's wrong? Le Tuyet tells him, something came up at the company, I might be late. You two go ahead and eat dinner. Then she hangs up before he can say anything. Shen Yan thinks to himself, she was just at home. For something to suddenly come up. Is she in some kind of trouble? Shen Yan takes the two girls home and says, your sister won't be back for dinner, so you guys can eat first. Then he calls Lin Feng. What happened at your sister-in-law's company? Lin Feng reports, boss, I just heard. Come over tonight and I'll give you the details. Her company's stock is plummeting. It dropped 10% during trading. If it wasn't for Fifth Brother, her company probably would have collapsed today. Shen Yan asks who's behind it, and gets the answer, a company called Tianhua. He orders tell Fifth Brother to get the stock price back up tomorrow. Also monitor every move the Tianhua group makes. I could give the order at any moment. I can't show my face, so have Christopher send some people over. Meanwhile, two men approach Le Tuyet. We're the IT network team from My Cosmetics. We know your company is under attack. Hearing this, she's overjoyed, guessing that Shen Yan must have sent them. I can't believe he found out so fast. At the Xiong Xing Hall, Lin Feng tells Fifth Brother, the boss has given his orders. It's all on you tonight. Fifth Brother, sitting in front of a massive array of computers, just says, got it. Meanwhile, Liu Dong is ordering his staff to crush the Tiannan group, but they report that a powerful trading team is fighting back, and Tiannan's stock is rising again. He screams, if you can't solve this problem, I don't mind letting times them, times solve, times you, times first. Just then, a guy shouts, Liu Dong, this is bad. Our trading platform's been hit by a virus. All our computers are crashing. But the old fox, Liu Guang, remains calm. He says, in that case, we move to plan B. Liu Guang clenches his fist and orders, from this moment on, buy up every single share of Tiannan Cosmetics. Get the most shares for the lowest price. And if anyone tries to take a single step out of this room, kill them on the spot. Back with Le Tuyet, her subordinate reports, the enemy has stopped their attack. The activity on the stock exchange has stopped too. We've successfully held them off. Le Tuyet finally breathes a sigh of relief. That's great. Our stock price is recovering. But another employee reports, wait, something's not right with the market. Shares of Tiannan Cosmetics are being bought up in huge quantities. Using this method, the enemy has already snatched up a third of our shares. He urges Le Tuyet to immediately pour in more money to buy back the remaining stock. They're trying to stage a hostile takeover. Then they notice two secret accounts are also fighting for the retail shares. They have no idea what's going on. The screen just shows a fierce bidding war. Turns out, the second account is a reinforcement. It secures the shares and immediately transfers them to Le Tuyet for free. The employee in glasses is completely stunned. Le Tuyet, however, suspects this is all Shen Yan's doing. Meanwhile, Lin Feng reports back to Shen Yan that Fifth Brother has successfully stabilized their sister-in-law's stock price. He even used Thumb Nian's own money to help buy stocks for his wife. Nam said he was happy to put in the legwork for his buddy, but asked him to spend his own cash. Not a chance. He would only use Thumb Nian's money. Thumb Nian was like, really? Man, this dude is so stingy. So he told Lam Fong to relay a message to Nam, use whatever you need, just get the job done. He can even take a 10% cut of the remaining cash as a thank you gift. Hearing this, Lam Fong praised how generous he was. Tum Nien felt like things were finally under control. It was time for our guy to make a move. Over at Chiao Mei Cosmetics, a certain Mr. Chen got super nervous when Tum Nien suddenly dropped by. Tum Hien told him to chill out. He was just there to buy the 5% stake in Tianhan Cosmetics that Mr. Chen was holding at full market price. And then he wanted Mr. Chen to sign a transfer agreement to transfer those shares to Lei Tuet of Tiannan, no strings attached, and then he just slid a bank card over to him. Mr. Chen was ecstatic. Tianhan's stock price had skyrocketed, so selling now meant a sweet payday for him. Back at Tiannan Cosmetics, Lei Tuet's staff reported that their stock price had finally stabilized. They'd only managed to buy back 4% of the stock, while some mysterious account had snatched up a whopping 8%. Lei Tuet was super worried, trying to figure out who was behind that mystery account. Just then, her secretary announced that Liu Guang was here. He was crashing the party as a new shareholder and had even called for a full shareholders meeting. And that's when it clicked for Lei Tuet, the mystery account was Liu Guang's. He'd been buying up all the loose shares, and she had a bad feeling about what he was up to. In the conference room, Liu Guang was already sitting there with 2 huge bodyguards. When Lei Tuet walked in, he arrogantly announced that Tiannan Cosmetics was about to become the Liu Corporation. He boasted that he now owned 44% of the company's stock. That made him the majority shareholder, with the power to fire the chairman. As you can imagine, Lei Tuet was freaking out. She and her parents owned 40%, other major shareholders had 40%, and 20% was held by small investors. And somehow, they had all sold out to Liu Guang. He pointed right in her face and sneered, "Since I'm the biggest shareholder, my first move is to fire Lei Tuet." But Lei Tuet held up a file and said, "Too bad, I own shares too. That makes us even. If you want to fire me, you'll need one of the shareholders here, who hasn't sold to you, to speak up." She breathed a sigh of relief. It was a close call, but thank goodness she and her team had scrambled to buy back that 4%. Otherwise, she would have been toast today. Plus, the fact that some shareholders were still on her side proved she still had support. Liu Guang then ordered, "Anyone who isn't a shareholder, get out now." Then, 3 guys in the room spoke up, "We each own 1% and we're with Mr. Liu." Lei Tuet was absolutely furious. Liu Guang smirked, "That brings my total to 47%. From now on, Tiannan is a Liu company, so Miss Zhao, kindly get the hell out." Lei Tuet was so mad, she was speechless. Liu Guang just stood there smiling like he'd already won. But just then, a voice from the doorway called out, "Sorry I'm late, traffic was a nightmare." Liu Guang recognized the voice. It was Mr. Chen. "I suggest you stay out of this," he threatened, "or your little cosmetics company is going to disappear from Danghai City." But Mr. Chen just laughed. "You really think your little threats scare me? Go after my company, buddy. You should be more worried about your own Tianhua group right now." He then handed over documents for 5% of Tiannan's stock to Lei Tuet, saying he wanted her to have them no strings attached. "This'll give you 49% of the company," he said. "Now you can tell Liu Guang to get lost." Lei Tuet's face lit up as she took the shares. Liu Guang shot up from his chair screaming, "Chen, you're asking for it." Mr. Chen just smirked. "Liu Guang, why don't you make a quick call, see how your precious Tianhua group is doing?" Confused, Liu Guang actually made the call. The voice on the other end told him it was already too late. "Your Tianhua group doesn't belong to a Liu anymore." He immediately recognized the voice. It was Tum Nien. "Why are you at my company? What did you do?" Lei Tuet overheard this and was even more stunned, completely clueless about what her husband was doing. Tum Nien's voice came through, cool as ever. "Oh, I'm just doing exactly what you did to Tianhan. Just buying up a few of your company's shares, that's all." Liu Guang completely lost it, screaming, "Damn it, everybody back to the office now." Lei Tuet turned to Mr. Chen. "Thank you so much for your help, but did Tum Nien ask you to do this?" He just smiled and told her to trust her instincts. Meanwhile, Liu Guang burst into his office, screaming Tum Nien's name. Tum Nien praised him. "Wow, you got back fast. Perfect timing, the share transfer agreement is all ready. Model. It's done. If there are no other issues, sign the contract." Liu Guang gritted his teeth, staring angrily at the papers. "You want to use my 35% stake in the Tianhua group to trade for 44% of Tianyan Cosmetics that I own. Are you daydreaming? I'm not about to take a loss." Shenran just smiled and said, "If you don't want to sign, I won't force you. But if any chaos happens at Tianhua Group later, it's not my problem." "Not my problem, huh?" Liu Guang seethed, thinking, over at Tianyan Cosmetics, Zhao Lixu already has more shares than me. And now this guy controls Tianhua Group too. If I don't give one up, I'm gonna lose both companies entirely. With that, he declared, fine, I'll sign. Shenron told him, if you knew it would come to this, you shouldn't have. Played so dirty. Didn't you end up losing billions anyway? The guy shot back, you're no different, acquiring. My 35% stake in Tianhua Group must have cost you a fortune, huh? But Shenron was one step ahead. What I'm interested in right now isn't money, it's your tax evasion that murder you committed and all your illegal dealings. I even did you a favor and dug up all your other crimes. Plus, the police are already waiting in the lobby. The man couldn't believe his ears. How could you possibly find this evidence? Shenron advised him. Anger is bad for your health. After all, it's not like you have a son left to inherit the business. As for whether these documents are real or not, why don't you see for yourself? Liu Guang's eyes went wide as he read the files, and he was so enraged that he coughed up, a mouthful of blood. Just then, Officer Yang arrived only to find Liu Guang's lifeless body. Shenron made a call. He told Lin Feng, you can make your move now. As of today, I want the name Liu gone from Tianhua Group. Back home, Shenron had prepared a huge meal for Lixue. She questioned him, be honest with me, this afternoon. Did you go to Tianhua Group? He played dumb. Tianhua Group, why would I go there? I know you have beef with Lu Dong's crew. I'm trying to stay as far away from them as possible. She knew he was lying, but since he didn't want to talk, she didn't press him. I just want to say one thing, no matter what you're planning, you have to promise me you'll be safe. Shenron grinned, loud and clear. More than 20 days had passed since the incident with Liu Guang went outside. Someone shouted for Shenron. He turned to see what Lixu wanted. She told him, it's my dad. He was in a car accident. They've taken him to the city hospital. Come with me now. At the hospital, the two of them rushed in. They asked about Mr. Zhao Bing's condition. A resentful Mrs. Zhao painfully recounted. We still don't know the specifics, the doctor said. Your father injured his left leg, and he's in surgery right now. If the surgery fails, he might have to have his leg amputated. Hearing this, Lixue's face filled with worry. Her mother, needing someone to blame, pointed right at Shenron and screamed, this is all your fault. If you hadn't caused me to fight with him, he wouldn't have been driving to pick me up and gotten into an accident. I don't want to see your face. Get out of my sight. Just then, that Chen Xiaoqing guy walked over. Auntie Lishu, what are you doing at the hospital? Mrs. Zhao rushed over and hugged him. Your uncle Zhao was in a car accident. He's still in surgery. If the operation isn't successful, he might have to lose his leg. Xiaoqing comforted her. Auntie, don't worry. Uncle Zhao will pull through. He'll be fine. If this hospital can't help, I'll immediately contact Dr. Zhang Jing. He's the best orthopedic surgeon in all of Dunghai City. He'll definitely know what to do. Mrs. Zhao's face lit up as she'd heard of the famous Dr. Zhang. Even the wealthy can't always get an appointment with him. Do you really have a way? Xiaoqing smiled and said, of course. Dr. Zhang is a good friend of my grandfather. All I have to do is ask, and he'll help. Lixue immediately grew suspicious. Isn't this a little too convenient, she thought. My dad just had an accident and he instantly shows up. Shenron was thinking the same thing. He told her, let me look into this. He walked over to the guy. Mr. Chen, are you here at the hospital for a checkup? He angrily snapped back. I'm perfectly healthy. I'm just here visiting a friend. Lixue knew something was fishy. Normally people visiting friends go to the inpatient wards. Why is he hanging around the surgical wing? Mrs. Zhao started freaking out again, telling both of them to get lost. Lixue said to him, you should go home first. I'll stay here. I'll be fine. Just then the surgeon came out. Who is the family of patient Zhao Jingbang? His condition is now stable, but his leg has to be amputated. Otherwise, there's a high risk of infection later. Xiaoqing told everyone to calm down. Dr. Zhang is here now. He'll definitely have a solution. Mrs. Zhao was overjoyed and begged the doctor to help her husband. Money is no object. Dr. Zhang gave a cunning smile. I just looked at the x-rays. Curing him won't be difficult, but it requires my family's secret technique. And this technique cannot be passed down to outsiders. So, how about this? You marry your daughter to my dear nephew Chen Xiaoqing. If that's the case, I can cure your husband. Upon hearing this, Mrs. Zhao immediately begged her daughter to divorce Shen Nian and marry Xiaoqing. Li Shui stood her ground saying, I refuse. Chen Xiaoqing, still playing, the gentleman said, Dr. Zhang, isn't that putting her in a tough spot? It's true, I like Li Shui, but I want her to come to me willingly, not be forced like this. The doctor played right along with him. Those are my terms. If you want me to heal her father, you have to pay the price. Furious Li Shui became even more determined never to divorce Shen Nian. But her dad's condition left her in an impossible situation. Just then, Shen Nian walked in. Quite the performance, you two. One of you puts my father-in-law in the hospital, and the other shows up to cure him, and now you're trying to force my wife to marry the guy who ran her dad over. With a plot this dramatic, you guys must be hoping to land a primetime TV slot, huh? Xiao Qing shot back. Shen Nian, what kind of nonsense are you spouting? Dr. Zhang added. This young man is making wild accusations. If you can't provide any proof, then even if you beg me, I won't lift a finger to fix this leg. Shen Nian threw his hands up. You're right, I don't have any proof. Just then, a woman's voice cut in, but I do. Officer Yang approached them. Mr. Chen, we've confirmed from traffic cam footage that the car that hit Mr. Zhao Zhengbang belongs to you. Please come with us. Mrs. Zhao was shocked, but Xiao Qing tried to weasel his way out of it. My driver was behind the wheel. What does this have to do with me? But Officer Yang pulled out a still from a nearby store's security camera, which clearly caught his face. You caused the accident. Then you gave the car to your driver. Mrs. Zhao lunged forward and grabbed his collar. So it was you, you dog, and you still wanted to marry my daughter. You're pure evil. But Dr. Zhang just snapped. Haven't you all caused enough trouble? If you insist on pressing charges against Xiao Qing, then you can forget about me ever healing this man's leg. But Officer Yang was no pushover. She pulled out her handcuffs and said, threatening someone right in front of a cop, you want me to haul you into the station right now? Seeing this, Mrs. Zhao rushed to plead with her. Officer, if you arrest him, my husband is finished. Just then, a man walked up. Mr. Shen, I've got that medicine you asked me to find. This is a special leg formula from Dr. Huo himself. It works wonders on any leg injury, and fast. Dr. Zhang came over to ask this pill. Which Dr. Huo made it, Shen Nian replied. The #1 orthopedic specialist in the country, Huo Donghua. You've surely heard of his fame. This is the Wan Gu San, given to me by his own grandson. Xiao Qing scoffed Huo Donghua, some quack from the middle of nowhere, hearing that Dr. Zhang smacked him right across the face. You shut your mouth. Don't you dare insult my idol. When it comes to orthopedics, if Master Huo claims to be second best, no one on earth would dare claim to be first. Chen Xiaoqing then shot back. For all we know that medicine could be a fake. Shen Nian replied. Want to know if it's fake? Just watch. Over on the hospital bed, Mr. Zhao Zhengbang was still unconscious. Shen Nian took out 2 vials, handing them to Li Shui. Give this to your father. Xiao Qing protested. Uncle Zhengbang is still unconscious. Don't give him some sketchy medicine. If something goes wrong, can you handle the consequences? But Li Shui ignored him, completely carefully giving the medicine to her father. And just like that, he slowly started to wake up. She asked how he was feeling, and Mr. Zhengbang said he already felt much better. Mrs. Zhao quickly asked, Honey, can you feel your leg? Shen Nian gave you some kind of miracle medicine. Just then, Mr. Zhengbang exclaimed happily, My leg, I can feel my leg again. Dr. Zhang was in disbelief. It's really Master Huo's Wan Gu San. He turned to Xiao Qing and said, You can deal with the rest of this yourself. Officer Yang stated, You're a suspect in a hit and run, and you attempted to frame another person. I am now placing you under arrest. Shen Nian wagged a finger. Instead of improving yourself, you go around hurting people. In the end, you only hurt yourself. Hearing this, Xiao Qing was fuming but couldn't say a single word. Li Shui came over and linked her arm with Shen Nian's. Let's go find a doctor to check on Dad and give my parents some space to themselves. Outside, she told him, You know, you have more and more secrets. I'm suddenly a little afraid of you. He asked, What is there to be afraid of? She asked, You're so amazing. Will a man like you really stay with me forever? Her question caught him completely off guard. Just then, a call came in. Li Shui answered and became frantic. When Shen Nian asked what was wrong, she told him that Li Xin was missing. He gently patted her head. You stay here and look after your dad. I'll handle this. Li Xin's roommate called, she told him. She's at the university gate. Please go find her. Worried sick, Li Shui had to put all her trust in Shen Nian. Meanwhile, Li Xin's friend was waiting anxiously, wondering why the people from the Zhao family hadn't shown up yet. Shen Nian approached her and said, Get in the car. Tell me the last place you saw Li Xin. The girl looked at him suspiciously. It was just you. Did you call the cops? Shen Yan tells her to answer him, adding, I'm more than enough. Meanwhile, Li Han is tied up in a secret location, as some thugs comment on her nice figure. Hurry up and have your fun. My boys are waiting for their turn. A goon from behind pressures the guy to get on with it. Then it's our turn. The client in red says, Hey, let's just bail. I'll give you your money back. We're calling this off. The ringleader rushes over, grabs his face, and says, And what about my boys? You think we're just in this for your cheap cash? The young man protests, but this is illegal. Before he can finish, he gets a fist to the face. He orders his goons to tie the guy up. If you won't do it, then I will. Boys, once I'm done, you'll all get a reward. The young man is now beaten and kneeling on the floor. Just as the leader lunges for Li Han, a flip-flop smacks him right in the face. He yells, "Where did this snot-nosed brat come from? You got a death wish." With his hands in his pockets, Shen Yun asks, "Who's the one with the death wish?" The boss orders his men with knives and bats to take care of Shen Yun. He just sighs, saying they're too slow. Then, like a hurricane, Shen Yun sweeps through the bad guys. Startled, the leader backs away. "Do you have any idea who my father is?" Before he can finish, he gets a punch straight to the mouth. Shen Yun says, "Not interested." He walks over to untie her, thinking to himself, how could this kid be so easily fooled? Just then, Li Han slowly comes to. She's amazed. "Did you take all these guys down by yourself?" Shen Yun points to the guy in red. "Except for him. He's the one who brought you here, right?" Li Han furiously yells, "You dared to trick me. I'll kick you to death, you scumbag." Seeing how fierce she is, Shen Yun says, all right, that's enough. Let's go home and have dinner." Back at the Zhao family villa, Li Han excitedly tells everyone how her brother-in-law took down a whole gang by himself. Li Shui isn't happy that he got into another fight. Shen Yun remarks, "You always focus on the strangest things." She winks and says, "Shouldn't I be worried? You might be hurt." He smiles confidently, "Don't worry, I'm fine." Li Han complains, "Can you two stop with the PDA already?" Shen Yun then remembers that tomorrow is the day Bing Quan gets out of the hospital. He wants to go pick her up. She suffered internal injuries protecting Li Shui last time, so he feels he owes her a favor. Might as well just tell her. At the hospital, Shen Yun asks her, "I did some digging. You're an assassin too, aren't you?" "Have you ever heard of the Hall of Calamity?" Shocked, she asks, "Who are you?" Shen Yun gives a one-word answer, "Pluto." Bing Quan asks in disbelief, "You're, * the times, Pluto of the Hall of Calamity." Shen Yun confirms it, adding, "I don't want Li Shui to know my identity. You saved Li Shui's life, so I can grant you one wish." Hearing this, she says, "Then help me find someone." He has a blood-red tiger head tattooed on his left arm. Afterwards, Shen Yun drives home and calls Lin Feng, asking him to find any organization with a black tiger head tattoo on the left arm. Lin Feng immediately recognizes it as the Blood Tiger Gang. Shen Yun asks, "Are they that famous?" The answer is no. Apparently the group has been having internal conflicts and most of its leaders are already dead. It seems there's only one left. Shen Yun orders, "Find him." Lin Feng adds another report, "Third sister has just arrived in China." The whole organization. "Boss, can you handle it?" Shen Yun gives a wry smile. "It wouldn't be the first time. If I call her now, won't I just reveal my location? Let's find the Blood Tiger Gang first, and figure things out from there." Meanwhile elsewhere, Li Han's friend is getting beaten up by his older brother who yells, "You're supposed to be studying but instead you bring me trouble. That blondie's cousin is a psycho from the Dragon Gang and he's demanding $1,000,000 from me. Get lost, I don't have a brother like you." Terrified, the guy in red pleads, "Brother, you can't abandon me, I'll be killed." His brother approaches, "You have only one way out of this, and that's to lure that man here." The man he's referring to is probably Shen Yun. Just then, Li Han walks out of the house. The guy in red goes to find Shen Yun. He bangs on the gate crying, "Brother Shen Yun, please save me, I'm begging you. Brother Shen Yun, please just come, have a drink with my brother. If you don't, I'm a dead man." Shen Yun coldly replies, "Why would I have a drink with your brother?" The guy explains, "You're a skilled fighter, no one would dare touch you. But Zhao Li Han is a different story. If you don't come this time, I'm afraid someone will go after her." Shen Yun turns, "Are you threatening me?" But Shen Yun reconsiders. The guy has a point. He can't protect Li Han 24/7. It's better to deal with this once and for all. This probably isn't about his brother inviting me for a drink. It's about the bastards behind him. And so Shen Yun tells the guy to let his brother know he'll be there at 9 p.m. tonight. Later at the bar, the appointed time has arrived. But Shen Yun is still a no-show. The older brother is getting antsy. But Shen Yun was already there. He calmly says, "I never break a promise. In fact, I'm always on time." The guy grits his teeth. "You're Shen Yun," he replies. "Weren't you the one who invited me? You want a drink? Where's the booze?" He signaled his men to get some, then tipped off the Long Gang to come grab him. Tham Nien held the glass. The leader bowed and said, "My little brother doesn't know any better. He disrespected you. Please be the bigger man and forgive him." Tham Nien replied, "Fine, I forgive him," and started to walk away. The guy couldn't believe it was that easy. He thought Tham Nien is so unpredictable. If he leaves now, by the time the Long Gang gets here, and they can't find him, I'm toast. Thinking this, he desperately tried to keep Tham Nien there. "Since you've forgiven my brother, we've got to have a few drinks, right?" That's when his voice turned icy. "Do you really think? I have no idea what's going on. I already know you're working with the Long Gang. You think I don't know what kind of trash you are, the gangster retorted. Since you know you're not leaving today, Tham Nien just said. Didn't your little brother tell you I'm pretty good in a fight? But the guy just scoffed. So what if you're good? You think you can take all of us? Tham Nien casually replied, yep, I can. And with that, he took every single one of them down, with one punch. The leader growled, don't move. You might be fast, but are you faster than a bullet? Tham Nien got right up in his face and said, I don't have to be faster than the bullet. I just have to be faster than the guy holding it. And just like that, he had the man completely subdued. The Long Gang can come deal with you. But let me warn you, if you ever touch the people I care about, I'll make you regret the day you were born. The guy was utterly terrified. By then, Tham Nien had already left the bar. Getting into his car, he thought, today's a happy day my father-in-law is. Getting out of the hospital. I can't let that garbage ruin my mood. Meanwhile, the gang leader was seething with rage because he'd been called worthless. A bald guy from the Long Gang asked, the man who beat up Long, she's brother, where is he? Shaking, the man stammered, he's gone, he took out all of our guys. So, what about my brother's debt? 1 million, or your arm? Please just give us a little more time, I'll pay it back, I swear. Hearing this, the man simply chopped off the guy's right arm. At the hospital, Mr. Triu Bang said, Latuyet, come sit down, there's something I need to tell you. She asked, what is it, Dad? He took out a photo of her and Tham Nien together as kids. Actually, Mr. Triu Bang said, Tham Nien's identity is very special. He is the Hades of the underworld. I was the one who asked him to marry into our family to keep you safe. This is a photo of you two from when you were little. The truth is, you were best friends. Latuyet stared at the photo. In shock. Why don't I remember any of this? What on earth happened? Her father patted her head and said, you were in a car accident. You got amnesia and forgot all about Tham Nien. But he never forgot you, and he was willing to accept it all. And marry into our family. Hearing this, Latuye was filled with regret for how badly she had treated Tham Nien. Mrs. Triu covered her mouth, also regretting how she treated her son-in-law. It finally dawned on Latuyet that all this time Tham Nien had been helping her from the shadows. She was so grateful. She turned to her family, I need your help with something. At a hot spring resort, a surprised Lahan asked, sis, are you sure you want to pick this place? Latuyet blushed and said kids shouldn't ask so many questions. Have you told your brother-in-law yet? Lahan said she had, and that he should be arriving soon. As Tham Nien walked up, he thought to himself, there has to be a reason why Latuyet set this whole thing up. My father-in-law texted. He told Latuyet everything. Looks like today's the day I lay all my cards on the table. Just then, a group of thugs appeared. They found out Tham Nien's entire family was here and were determined to make them all pay. The manager told Latuyet, we only have one small hot spring room and one large hot spring room left. The large spring can fit 3 people, and the private one can only fit 2. Are you sure there are no other rooms? She asked. The answer was a firm no. Latuyet remembered her sister's advice to make a bold move and win him over, and her face turned beet red. Tham Nien thought, it's not even peak season, but this place is fully booked. I have a feeling Latuyet is pulling some strings here. She turned to him. Meet me at the hot spring later. I have something to tell you. He smiled. I have something to tell you too. As he walked away, he wondered, what could Latuyet possibly want to say? When he went inside, a scarred, bald man confronted him. You're Tham Nien. The guy who beat my little brother Longshi to a pulp, right? He replied, I was actually planning to let you live a little longer. But you just had to come knocking on death's door. And after that? Well, there was no after that. Tham Nien made quick work of them. He called Lam Fong to come clean up. Sell them off to Africa, he ordered. When he got to the hot spring, Latuyet was all ready. There changing with her back turned. He asked if the water was warm enough. Blushing shyly, she turned around and said hello. I heard everything from my dad, and I know your real identity now. But I just don't get it. Why would you sacrifice so much for me? If we were just childhood friends, you wouldn't have had to do all that. Shen Yan answers in a heartbeat. Because I promised I would marry you back then. I told you no matter who I am or how you look, I will always marry you. You're the only person in my life who's ever brought me warmth. Then he remembers when they were little. Shen Yan was always lonely and had a hard time fitting in. That's when Li Shui came up to him and said hello. She took his hand and asked wanna be friends. Back in the present, he asks her, can we be together, forever? Of course, she replies. I don't care if you're the underworld king or not. I'm just glad you've always taken care of me. Besides, we've been married for a while now. Don't you want to become real times, husband and wife? Shen Yan blushes. Of course I do. I dream about it all the time. She places a finger on his lips. Then, let's start tonight. And that's the end of the story. And please don't ask if there's a part 2, cause this is as far as the author wrote. If you enjoyed this, please support me and the team by commenting, liking, and sharing. Thanks everyone.